Hello, everyone, and welcome to Patriot Crusader Mission Christian Warrior Talk. It's been a while since I've been on. I apologize. I've had a bad back, but I want to talk about the 2022 election and the good, the bad, and the ugly. It's not all bad. It's actually, I think, in the end, it's going to be really good for us. I've seen a lot of people out there breaking down some of the analysis. I don't think anyone's necessarily gotten it 100% right yet. This is my attempt at getting the 2022 election. This is my take on it. So one, when I went to bed last night, like you, I was very upset. I was disappointed. And when I woke up, I was even more disappointed when I saw some of the results. And I had to sit there and pray and reflect and think for a second, get off the front lines and then go back to 500 feet, 1,000 feet, 5,000 feet, 10,000 feet, and on up. The further I got away, the better I felt about it. So here's my take, and I'm going to piss off a lot of my fellow Trump supporters with this. As you guys know, I'm a big fan of President Trump, but let's get into it. First thing about the election that I think we all need to understand is this is the first election that we've had post the Great Conservative Migration. And what do I mean about the Great Conservative Migration? Well, when COVID hit and everyone could work from home and everything started going to heck, freedom-loving Americans fled tyrannical states to greener pastures. We moved to Tennessee. Others moved to Florida. Others moved to Texas. And this election is post that, meaning that there was a lot of good fears. So this is some good news. There was a lot of fears. Well, it's a mixed bag, actually. There's a lot of fears that people moving to red states from New York, California, and other liberal places would shift those states that were red, purple, or more blue. And we proved that wrong. Tennessee, there's only one person who was elected a Democrat in Tennessee, and that's in the hellhole of Memphis. So Memphis is an absolute disaster. It always will be a disaster. And those people refuse to learn. So they keep electing Democrats. Good on them down there. The rest of the state went overwhelmingly red. Florida went the reddest it's ever been, as did a lot of other places. So the post-conservative, Christian conservative migration had a great effect in those states in reaffirming and shoring them up. Unfortunately, when you pull sober-minded conservatives from other areas like New York and other purple states, those people, those sober-minded voting people left, like I said, to go to red states. So you're going to lose their influence in the elections in those purple states. And I think we saw a lot of that, or some of that, in the election last night. Okay. The other thing that we saw last night, and this is where I'm going to, start angering people, I think, is, I can't talk about, I won't talk about any funny business or election stuff. Well, that's another story. So people are going to be like, hey, what really happened? Well, here's part of what happened. Psychology is what happened. You have a lot of people who were never Trumpers, or people who may have voted a different way that don't want to be associated with everything that happened negative with the country in the past 2 years. Okay. So these people are people like most of the country. I'm part of the 30% that would like to relitigate the 2020 election, but a vast majority of our country does not want to relitigate the 2020 election. All right. They want no part of it. And I agree with them, even though it would please me that we can't go back and relitigate the 2020 election. I don't even know how you would disentangle everything that would happen there. And I think it would be completely destructive at this point, even though it may be a just thing to do. If we did that, it just would be, it runs too deep. It's too it's too impossible to disentangle everything, and it would be extremely destructive. And people who are complicit in that and may have voted certain ways don't want to go back and revisit that. So you got 30% of the population that wants to see that and 70% that don't. Okay. So that being said, those people are not going to vote for pro-Trump candidates who are going to support diving back and looking backward at 2020 and all that. Okay. They're not going to do that. They want to move forward. And I think we should move forward at this point. All right. So what does that mean? That means that basically Trump policies are extremely popular, and Trump policies, are the way of the future, meaning America, the MAGA policies, make America great again, or America first, whatever you want to say. Those policies are embraced by a lot of people and everyone wants them, but they don't want the Trump baggage. The Trump baggage is the man, unfortunately. Now, I love the guy. I love his honesty, but he comes with a lot of baggage. And what we saw last night was Ron DeSantis really ascend to the head of the party. And he is everything that is great about America First with none of the baggage. And Trump knows this, and and here's the bad, he's already attacked him. He attacked him last week by calling him Ron DeSanctimonious. And then he actually had one of his surrogates early on in the night yesterday come out and say, tell Ron DeSantis better stay in Florida. And then I read another article today in the Wall Street Journal that said that he was starting to say some disparaging things about DeSantis, saying stuff like, I know more about him than maybe his wife, and all this stuff. Just really petty, terrible, Trump at his worst stuff. All right. When Trump is his best, it's not doing that. It's not attacking our own people, and it's not doing that. This is what created all those never Trumpers out there who basically cost us an election. So you had the great Christian conservative migration effect last night. You had people who don't want to live living backwards, looking back last night. And you had the ascension of a new head of the party, which is Ron DeSantis. Now, other good news about last night is that if all of Trump's appointees had won, which I wanted them to, if they had all won, and it would have been a referendum that we want to live looking backwards and investigate everything that happened and relitigate the 2020 election. And it would have been that for 2 years. And we would have lost heavy in 2024 because people don't care about 2020 anymore. 70% of the population doesn't care. Maybe more doesn't care. They want us to solve problems like inflation. They want us to solve the border. They want us to solve, the economy. They want us to solve a whole bunch of other issues, right? The last thing they want us to solve is 2020, all right? So that would have been a referendum on that, and we would have put a bunch of in office that would have done that. That's not what people want. So let's get back to, so by barely winning the House, okay, and maybe barely winning the Senate, now we can still do the investigations that we need to do to get the facts out there, right? So that we're all speaking facts and we're not beat up with the untruths, but get the facts up there. And this is also going to be viewed by the far left for them to go continue being crazy, right? Because the squad just grew. They all held their seats. And this is going to be good for us in 2024 because we're going to be able to have a unifying candidate like Ron DeSantis. Now, here's the ugly and what's going to have to happen. I wish that Trump would be great for America and he would become the kingmaker, be in the race, take all the press, right? By all the press, get all the press attacking Trump, him taking all the heat, and then him stepping out and making Ron Ron DeSantis becoming the kingmaker and giving that to him. I would love to see that, but that, unfortunately, I don't think will happen. I think what we're going to see is a disgusting attack campaign from Trump waged on DeSantis, and DeSantis is going to have to put down Trump in a primary. What that will do, which will work out in the end for us, is all the housewives who betray us, all the housewives, the educated white women who continue to sell out our country and continue to destroy us because they're so easily misled by faux empathy. They will be able to support DeSantis if he takes down Trump. And that is the ultimate win-win for us going in 2024. I don't, like Christopher says here, I don't think Trump's ego can do that. Trump's ego is his number one problem. It's his number one asset. But it's, when I saw these attacks that he was doing, I thought it was extremely selfish. I lost a lot of respect for him in that. I know what he's doing. He does this all the time, sling as much mud as an opponent, and then, hey, yeah, it was just business, do the deal. But I think this time is different. I think this time is very different. Ron DeSantis is the future of the Republican Party, and I don't think his followers are going to be on board for that. And again, DeSantis is Trump without all the baggage. All right. So there's a lot of good that came. I think it's almost one of the best things that could have happened. You said, Christopher, here, we can shut down the stupid crap by taking the House and Senate. Yes, we can. We can shut down the stupid crap with just taking the House. If we take the Senate, we can stop a lot of stuff from going down, right? We can stop and we can do some investigations looking back and getting the facts on the table so that they can't use stuff to beat us forward. But it won't be about that. It won't be about that. It'll be about fixing things, right? And setting it up for 2024. So again, I don't know if you guys are going to agree with me on this, but from a Ron DeSantis guy from here on out, and we'll be supporting him, and we'll be, in everything I possibly can as far as me personally. Okay. Again, last night was one of the best things that could happen for us. I hope we take the House and the Senate, and that we can start the investigations, take the committees, prevent any Supreme Court garbage from going down, and move forward for a very bold 2024, which starts today, right? 2024 campaign starts today. And again, I'm very excited about the future. It's DeSantis here on out, guys. If DeSantis doesn't run, I'll be in Trump's camp. Okay. But I think, I was watching a pretty respected Democrat advisor, and he said that Biden will run against Trump because, they both have such high unfavorables. He says he beat Trump before, and that's something he wants to do. And then when he asked him, what would you do? What about against DeSantis? Can Biden beat DeSantis? And he said that if DeSantis takes Trump out in a primary, it will be impossible to beat him. It will be impossible to beat DeSantis if he takes out Trump during a primary. And I agree with that. And I wish it didn't have to be that way. But Trump was very great. I'm very grateful for everything he did. I think he has had more injustice done to him than anyone, like literally the most unjust treatment we've ever had. But the country is more important going forward than one man. And I thought it was very, I don't think they can't side together, Chris. I don't think that Trump, like you said, Trump won't do that. And I don't want him to be VP. DeSantis gains nothing by being Trump's VP. He just gains all of his baggage. I would love to see a DeSantis Rand Paul ticket, or a DeSantis if what's her name wins in Arizona. I think that'd be a very powerful ticket. But she just got there. Again, I'm sorry, her name escapes my, let me see if I can pull her up. What the heck is her name? It is Kari Lake. I would love to see him and Kari Lake, but Kari Lake really needs to win first and govern a little bit. needs to govern a little bit. Kristi Noem would also be a strong selection for him, or Rand Paul. I'm sorry. Again, that it's going to get ugly, guys, and I wish Trump wouldn't do this. I hope he doesn't declare war on DeSantis. Right now, the best case scenario, I think, for our country going forward is for us to get all behind Ron DeSantis as far as in the Republican Party. So I pray to dear Lord Jesus that Trump becomes a kingmaker. So he needs some time on the books before a president were to run, or Beau run. Who needs some time on the books? Who needs some time on the books, Christopher? If you're saying DeSantis, I think he's run one of the biggest states, more successful against everyone. I don't think he needs any more experience than that. I don't. You're talking about the new girl, Kari Lake in Arizona. I would agree with that. She needs to do that. Whereas I think Kristi Noem has been a governor now. A governor is the closest thing you're going to do to running a country. I think that DeSantis is ready to go. He's ready to lead. Oh, it's a girl. It's Kari Lake is who I was talking about. But there are other people in there. I mean, Brian Kemp out of Georgia is, some people have also talked about, who of course has a terrible relationship with Trump. I'd be more apt to get behind DeSantis than I am Kemp, based on what happened during the election. But there it is. So I don't know if you guys agree with what I said, but I think this is all good news. Get off the doom and gloom. Get off all this other garbage that's out there. This could be the best thing that's happened to us if we play it right, if we're patient, and as we move forward. All right? God bless you.